Let's do the Oreo cookie cream ice. How's that sound? That's a nice, easy one. And these will pass around. This is going to be sugar, water, the ice cream blend. And by the way, Jeff's wrong. He's got too much ice cream blend in there when he said 1/3. Oh, he's back. See, he does that to me. When I leave the room, he badmouths me. And so I just was telling him how wrong you were. And the Oreo cookies, I'm going to put half the cookies in the machine, and they're going to get all ground up. And the second half, I'm going to break them in half, or break them in thirds by snapping them, and I'll put them in. That way I'll have what I call the fruit flavor and the fruit identity. If it was strawberry, by putting the strawberries into the machine, they get all ground up, and if you were blindfolded and tasted it, you'd say, yep, that's strawberry ice cream. You take the blindfold off and you look at it, or strawberry ice, and you say, oh, it's pale pink, what is it? Well, I want some chunks in there too, so I can see what it is. So that's my identity. You eat with your eyes. If you add everything as it's coming out, like you have to do with every other machine, like a Cappigiani or an Electro-Freeze or a Stolting or any of the others, you can't put anything in their machines. You have to add it all as it's coming out. All you're ever going to get is sugar and water with strawberries added to it, or sugar or ice cream mix with strawberries added to it. By putting it into the machine, for every particle of dairy or every particle of sugar water, there's a particle of the flavor right next to it. That's what makes it so much more intense. Let me see. I'm going to need, if you don't mind helping me.
Not at all.
Thanks.
Let me think about how you helped me with mine.
I mopped, remember?
Correct.
I mopped.
Okay.
3 quarts of water, and I'm going to get the 2.5 pounds of sugar.
Here's a container right here for you. For the
Beautiful. Thanks.
Talk to them while you're doing it.
All right, what I'm doing is I've got this real fancy scale here, and I'm putting my container on it, and then I'm zeroing it out so that I only measure.
Did you say?
Water, 3 quarts, please.
3 quarts.
And 2.5 pounds of sugar. So I'm going to measure in my sugar.
Okay.
Oops.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Any questions while I'm putting this together?
Is that vanilla? Is that pure vanilla or vanilla?
This is a pure vanilla extract, 2-fold is what I'm using. They make vanilla with vanillin. They make single fold. There's all different types. I prefer 2 brands in the United States, Lockhead, which is what I'm using today, and Nielsen Massey. Those are 2 fantastic companies that only make vanilla. And vanilla is really important. I've gone, by the way, and don't let it get to his head. I've gone Jeff's way. I always used to put more vanilla in. I love vanilla. But I subscribe to his idea now, an ounce of vanilla to a quart of product, because the vanilla, it makes everything pop. It's great stuff. Yeah, you were right, I know.
Okay, while Steve's doing that, I'll do what I do best.
Oh boy, here we go.
Talk. If you're an owner of an ice cream store, just like Steve had to get the mop out, you do everything. Regardless of your employees, everything falls on you. Saturday morning, today is Wednesday, Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, because my store is only open at night, 6 to 10 at night. We'll get into that later. Anyway, Saturday morning, I'm sitting around watching cartoons in my sleeping attire, and the phone rings. And it's a panic call from the owner of the store next to mine, a golf cart store. And he said, our place is flooding, and it's coming from your store. So I just got up, grabbed my keys, and I went over to the store, which is about 13 minutes away. I get to the store, I open the doors, and water came out. There was 2 inches of standing water in the whole store. And right away I found the source of it. It was the bathroom, obviously. It could only be 2 things. It could be the 3-bay sink in the kitchen or one of the bathrooms. We have 2 bathrooms. I ran into the bathroom and I saw the water was spewing out from a pipe on the bottom. I turned off the water. I went immediately, picked up the electric off the floor, any strips or whatever off the floor, shut the breakers, and then I looked around and I had 2 inches of standing water. Half the store is wood on the floor, half is carpet, and I have a dance floor too, so that was wood. and everything is under 2 inches of water. And I got terribly depressed. I made a few phone calls, and I found the company that would get the water out and begin the drying process, because it's Saturday morning. I'm open Saturday night. So the company came, and they extracted the water. And I was terribly depressed, because now the place is in total disarray. They had to come Sunday and lift up the floor and get rid of it. You can't save it, or the mold and mildew. So they're throwing all my furniture around, all my everything, and I take great pride in my store, as you will in your store. And by late afternoon, I looked around, and the place was a mess. All the carpet was out in the street, the wood floor, everything was terrible. The furniture was all askew. And I went home, and I was really depressed, because every single thing in your store you will place there for a reason. You like the way it looks, it balances out the lighting, whatever it is. I went home, and I was fit to be tied. I was in a terrible state. I got up the next morning very depressed, and then I had the epiphany. Then I realized something, and you're going to realize this too. You want me to stop now? They're on the edge of their seats.
I want to hear the end of the story, then we'll go.
What I realized was all successful people, from Lee Iacocca to the president, all the way down, all successful people take a problem, make it a challenge, and create an opportunity. So that's what I faced. And as soon as I realized that, my depression lifted, and I saw that this problem is now a challenge to me, and how can I create an opportunity out of it? So that's what happened. And as we speak, they're putting in a brand new floor in the whole place, and I've had a chance to throw some things out that I didn't want, rearrange other things. So the challenge was to get over this ridiculous state of affairs. Oh, by the way, the air conditioning system broke also. And it was Saturday night, it had to be 90 degrees in the store. So, of course, free ice cream for everybody, you know, that's what it took. So the air conditioning, yesterday they came and they fixed it, a capacitor, and that challenge was to now get those in tip-top shape for a coming season that's going to be 100 degrees every day. So he did the maintenance on it, he put a new thermostat in, and that's perfect now. It's like an ice box in there. And we're getting a new floor. So then my depression lifted and I was happy. And you'll face that all the time. You're going to have an employee quit right before the weekend, Labor Day weekend. It's going to happen. Happened to me, it'll happen to you. So as an owner, you are everything in the store. So think about that problem, accept the challenge, and make it an opportunity.
And you left out the part about the insurance company said, we'll be happy to settle in 6 months.
Right.
I'm going to start pouring this in.
The insurance adjuster came, and I thought he was going to write a check. Instead, he did all his due diligence, asked me for all my information, and then left saying, you should hear within 60 days. I said, 60 days? I'm going to be open tonight. And he said, well, that's not going to happen. Of course, it did happen. And now I'm negotiating with the insurance people, because everything in life, everything is negotiable. Everything.
So what can I pay you to stop?
Okay.
I'm kidding you. All right, I've put the sugar and water in here, and now we're going to pour in the mix. And I'm using a 10% mix. And I'm going to add the vanilla.
Right here.
Thank you. Oh, I had some right there too. Okay, so I've got the sugar, the water, the vanilla. Let's turn this on. I like to get it running and freezing, so we hit begin. Go to the next screen. Cream ices, start. Turn on the refrigeration. Now it's freezing. It's not going to do a whole lot for the first couple of minutes, so I still have time to add my other ingredients. So some more or the Hershey syrup, and I'm going to put half my cookies in. Now, as a little 4-year-old said, don't try this with a Taylor because you can't do it. They won't go in. I'm just sliding them right in. They'll void your warranty if you do this because it would damage their beater. The beater's not strong enough. Emery Thompson's designed to do this, so you won't see anybody, any other company doing this. Am I leaving anything out? Say what? The question was what kind of overrun. Basically, there isn't really overrun in Italian ice. As I mentioned before to a lady, and it's on the tape, if you took this formula and put it into an ice cube tray and froze it, it'll expand 17%, because that's the normal expansion of water. But you're going to get next to no expansion with sugar water. You'll get a little with this because of the dairy. Dairy is fat cells, and it's the fat cells that expand and give you the air content. For those of you who are new and have not heard the term overrun, it's a term that we use in ice cream. Ice cream consists of the dairy product, the flavor, and the air content. And they have to be in balance in order to make a great product, in balance with what it is you're trying to sell and who you're trying to sell it with. I contend that nobody ever walked out of an ice cream parlor and turned to their friend and said, you know what, that's the best damn air content I ever ate. You know, people don't do that. Or they don't say, you know, I just love to go to Jeff's place because the fat just is wonderful. They don't say that. They say the mint chip was to die for. The key lime pie ice cream was, you know, heaven on earth, which of course happened to be true. All these compliments to them. But people, air is, and so we have this term overrun. To explain overrun, let's use proof. You all know proof, proof and alcohol. If we have 100 proof rum, 100 proof rum means it's 50% air, and, 100 proof rum means it's 50% alcohol and 50% other stuff that make it rum. So 100 proof is 50% rum, 50% other stuff. Let's call Jeff's ice cream 100 proof ice cream. 100 proof ice cream would be 50% air and 50% dairy. Throw out the word proof and substitute overrun. So now instead of it being 100 proof vanilla ice cream, it's 100% overrun. 50% air and 50% dairy. My father was called down to a Senate subcommittee back in the 1950s. They didn't have anything to do.
Embezzlement?
Embezzlement, yeah. They didn't have anything to do back then either. And some Southern senator, you know, Leghorn, Froghorn, would say, "I'll say it, folks. They're trying to cheat us. They're putting air in the ice cream." And my father had to go down and explain, if you didn't have air in ice cream, it would be lard. Now, if you want to sell a low air content ice cream, we call it Haagen-Dazs. And we put Haagen-Dazs in business with these machines. We put Ben & Jerry in business with these machines. A low air content ice cream. If you want a higher air content ice cream, with my infinite overrun, you just turn up the speed. And that would be what Jeff is selling, is a higher air content. It leaves you feeling refreshed. And, you know, walking out, I heard about two guys who walked out of your place one time, and the guy said, "Man, that was the best ice cream. I think I'll go back and get another one." And the guy goes, "You're going to get fat if you get a second one." He says, "Listen, I'll give up my martini tonight to get another one of his ice creams." Now, that's what I call dedicated to his ice cream.
To put it in simple terms.
What, mine wasn't simple?
No. Overrun, how much you put in, how much you get out. If you put in 4 quarts, you get out 6 quarts, you know what your overrun is. You don't have to worry about the terms.
But you have to know what air is and why it doesn't.
A lot of people know what air is.
A lot of people, well, Jeff, a lot of people call up and they say, "I want an ice cream with no air in it." I go, "Okay, fine. You're going to have to charge about $10 a scoop." And people are going to complain that the ice cream sits like lead. You know, as famous as Haagen-Dazs is, and that was, I know what I'm doing. Oh. And Reuben Mattis and his mother started their Haagen-Dazs business about 2 miles from our factory with our machines. Ben & Jerry started up in Vermont with our machines. These products are very, very dense, and you don't see successful Haagen-Dazs ice cream parlors. You would expect they'd be all over the country. They're not. Because the ice cream, it's a wonderful ice cream. I buy Haagen-Dazs when I don't have any of my own, and I take it home, and I have a little taste of it before I put it in the freezer. And then I have another small amount during dinner, and then at 11 o'clock at night before I go to bed, I sneak another spoonful. We pick at Haagen-Dazs ice cream because it's just so heavy. Let's see, what am I going to put this in? But if an ice cream parlor sells that, the scoop size, when you condense something, it gets very small. So a 4-ounce portion falls to the bottom third of the cone, which is another problem with it. This looks perfect. I'm going to turn off the refrigeration. I got so busy talking I didn't do my job. I'm breaking these all up. I've got my fruit flavor, my Oreo cookie flavor in the machine. And now I want you to be able to see that it's got Oreos in it. So I'm going to shake these in as it comes out.
Another benefit of no dipping cabinets, you don't have to decorate the tops of the tubs.
Which I don't anyway. Yeah, I'll tell you, that's a funny mistake, especially with Oreo cookie. When I'm finished with this, I will have cookie dust in the bottom here. I can't tell you how many people have taken the cookie dust and spread it on top of their tub, for decoration. Well, I'm from New York. We know that's dirt. You were cleaning the floor and had to put it somewhere right in there like that. You don't put dirt on top of your ice cream. So one way to do it is just to throw them in as it's coming out. Another way would be to open it up and take out a gallon and then throw in some more. There's no wrong method to this. Now, this is probably the most complex ice cream or ices you'll ever make. And you saw how easy that was. I'm just going to boost the speed up. But I've got pretty much all of it out of there. And now that's it. You want to come up and try this? I'm just going to get the last bit out. And that's it. The fun thing about making these tapes, and there are so many of them at our website. I'll teach you how to make absolutely everything. The fun thing about these tapes, the feedback I get is people say, man, if that idiot can do it, imagine what I could do.
That's what I say.
Yeah, that's what I say about you too. And that's exactly what we're going for, is to show you it is that easy. And you add your creativity to it, and it's going to be fantastic. Come on up. You're not finished yet. You're going to be eating stuff all day.